Hello, welcome one and all to Cinemadness, the podcast Zoomcast. That is the quarantine edition. We are at episode number 10. If you're keeping track of us, folks, thank you one and all for joining us here on our YouTube channel. And if you're listening to us via our various different ways that you can listen to our podcast, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today. So I am Roman, and I am joined with my two wonderfully talented cohorts. I have below me currently Ms. Alison.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to tell you this, but your hair looks like an Easter egg. Not yours.
Okay. And I have my other Y chromosome fellow compatriot as I slip down. Fun stuff. Gotta love it. I have my other gentleman who's joining us, the person who allegedly was second runner-up for the role of the shark in Jaws. That's Adam.
Yep. It's not the years, honey. It's the mileage.
There you go. Well, thank you one and all for joining us. Do appreciate it. So today we are going to be talking about Summer Blockbusters. If you haven't guessed it by the actual quotes that my two favorite people have talked about today. So today what we're going to be talking about, we will cover a little bit of movie news. We'll cover some movies that we're going to be reviewing. And then we'll, of course, lead into our break, then talk more heavily about the Summer Blockbusters themselves. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's go ahead and start off. First and foremost, our patron and also our contributor and a big fan of us joins us on our Facebook page. That is Bill. Happy birthday to Bill. Thank you very much for being with us and for being a patron. We do appreciate it. And also thank you very much for bringing the prettiest member of our team to life.
That's my
Alison.
dad.
Yes, it is. Adam, would you tell us a little bit about our patron system, what exactly it is, and how one can be a part of our patron system?
Well, to be a patron, also known as a citizen of listening land, because before the virus, that's what we were calling our fans, because we're an audio podcast. Obviously, because we're really good on camera. Being a citizen of listening land meant that you would go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/cinemadness, and contribute, whether it is $1, whether it is $10, $5, all the way up to $200. And every tier gets you something fun to do, or something fun from us. And every dollar spent makes us look and sound better, believe it or not. Especially now that we have a website for upkeep, and everything's more it's growing. So if you want to see us evolve and grow as well, you can grow with us and join us.
Grow with us.
Exactly. Well, happy birthday, Bill. Go ahead.
I said grow with us, like the flowers in the attic.
Oh.
Flowers in the attic is not a good thing to, whatever. Never mind, okay.
Especially not after Father's Day.
No. Ooh, no. Ooh.
Well, happy birthday, Bill. Thank you very much for all you do for us. Yep. Yeah, sorry. Gotta love it. See, if you joined us, maybe little fun things like that might not happen. Maybe they still will.
Maybe we can get Roman a brand new laptop.
What's a laptop? I'm doing this off my phone. Someone called me. Yeah, someone actually called me. Go figure. But yeah, happy birthday, Bill. Appreciate it. So now let's go ahead and talk about some movie news. First and foremost, Adam is wearing a shirt of the Lost Boys, and I am wearing a shirt of Batman. One of the reasons being is today, sadly, the director Joel Schumacher unfortunately passed away at the age of 80. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about what impact that Joel Schumacher has had on films and cinema. Alison, what are your thoughts on Joel Schumacher?
I mean, he directed one of my favorite movies, Lost Boys, and Batman. What else did he direct? He directed something else I saw.
He did Falling Down.
Who?
Falling Down.
Oh, Falling Down was a very big movie when it came out.
Yep.
And it's a little still relevant today. I don't know. It's not a movie that you watch over and over again. That's for sure.
No, but it
Red Eye.
What?
Yeah. He did the movie Red Eye.
I thought Wes Craven did Red Eye.
Red Eye, the horror movie?
The one about the guys sitting in the flight.
Yeah, that was Wes Craven.
Like I said, he's no Wes Craven. Sorry about that. Please continue, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, Falling Down is a very relevant movie right now. And he also did the number 23, which made Jim Carrey go crazy. And the theatrical Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler.
I never saw that.
Oh, and he did Phone Booth. It's a movie I absolutely love, and a lot of people hate, but
I love that film as well. I actually cried in that movie, believe it or not. But that's for another time.
Oh, and Flatliners. How did I forget about Flatliners?
Oh, he's a fan of Kiefer.
And St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, wow.
And DC Cab. But, you know, he's only going to be known for doing Batman. And Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pretty much. Well, our honest condolences to the those affected by Joel Schumacher's passing. Very sorry to hear that. Now, the one thing that I gotta know, in all seriousness, is when he passes, will he or will he not have nipples shown in his casket? Just saying.
Casket nipples.
Nope, that joke went a lot better in rehearsal. Sorry about that, guys. Gotta love it. It wasn't funny, didn't really get any laughs, even when I told it in rehearsrsal, and I still went with it anyways. Go figure.
I like that you keep saying rehearsal, like we go over everything. We're gonna say it.
Well,
was the tech that it went over well?
Anyways, moving forward, because there's no way that I can save this one. Let's go ahead and talk about other bits of movie news. We have
Batman.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and take the ball and run with it?
It was announced earlier this afternoon that Michael Keaton is going to be in the new Flash movie. As we don't know if Ezra Miller is still going to be Flash, we know that Michael Keaton will be Batman. We don't know if it's going to be like a de-aged Batman. We don't know if it's going to be an older Batman Beyond type thing. But when it comes to the Flash, you know, time travel is involved, so anything can happen. Yeah.
Really excited, and to pick up on that, I know they were rumoring when I saw that they were talking about potential other aspects that he could be involved in or rumored to be involved in. I saw something out there talking about he could be involved in the Batgirl project, which could be very interesting. So, Alison, thoughts on Michael Keaton? Did you like him as Batman?
Yeah, he's not my favorite, but I think if they're going to do it and he is not just Batman and, you know, he's Bruce, it needs to be an older Batman because clearly he's aged. So you can't have Robert Pattinson as the new Batman and him as Batman at the same time, and, you know, it has to be different.
Well, I mean, it's the Flash. It could lead to other multiverses.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring that up too, that I know the recent DC movies have gotten a lot of flack and stigma, mainly the Superman and Batman movies. Even Justice League, a lot of people don't like them. They have to compare them to the Marvel movies, which I don't understand that. But if they do the Flash right with the multiverse, I mean, they could reset everything and still keep those movies in the same continuity. They can keep the Christopher Reeve Superman in the same continuity with the multiverse. I mean, they could do anything. They could even keep Shaq as Steel, and it would still be considered continuity because of a multiverse. And that would be beating Marvel to the multiverse aspect of it.
Yeah, that it just opens a lot of doors and a lot of possibilities. Really excited to see where they go with the aspects. If played well, it could be really awesome. However, if played poorly, it could be really bad. It could be very campy, very cheesy, very corny, but I think hopefully they've learned from their lumps that they've taken, and maybe they'll put in a good product for us. We'll see, and hopefully Mike Keaton can help bring that in. And final bit of movie news, live to the YouTube and wherever you find your trailers. They actually showed a theatrical trailer, literally theatrical trailer, of Hamilton coming on July 3rd to Disney+. We talked about this previously, I believe about 4 episodes ago, about Hamilton coming to Disney+ on July 3rd. I know I was really excited. I believe Alison's really stoked on it. Adam, I think you're meh. So Alison, we saw a bit of the trailer in our rehearsal. What did you think? Are you excited? Meh.
I mean, yeah, I'm not excited as a lot of people are. Like I said in the last time we talked about it, I will see it because I want to see what the hubbub is. Like, I want to see why people fell in love with this. Like, I have a couple friends that they just fell in love with this. They fell in love with Lin Miranda. I always screw his name up. Like, they will follow him, everything he does. They just love it. So I want to see what it is, because I'm not a history person. So it just didn't entice me when it was here. So, but if it's free on Disney Plus, I'll watch it. And I'm glad, because I asked you, I said, is it a movie that they made based on the show, like, Cats? But it looked like it was shot from the stage. So that's good. So we'll see it for free in the comfort of our own home, and all those other fools spent hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you, but I think that's a perfect transition to our review time. Let's go ahead and talk reviews, shall we? What I'll do is I'm actually going to give 2 reviews. I just so happen to see Cats, and Alison personally requested that I cover Cats. Then we're going to let's go with Adam next for your review. And then I'll do my other review of 7500, and then we'll do Alison. How's that sound?
Okie dokie.
Okay. So real quick, not going to cover it too much. I watched Cats purely because it was 75 cents at Redbox. I was going to Redbox. I was picking up Capone, which is probably going to be a review that I will share with our website very soon. And it gave me a message that said, hey, would you like to run another movie for 75 cents? Well, as soon as I saw that, there was only one movie that came to mind.
I thought you were going to say that was the only movie that was available for 75 cents. Man, that would have been great.
No. Well, let's do the Alison version. This is the Alison cut. There was only one movie available, and that was Cats. Now let's go ahead and do the non-Snyder cut and the Whedon cut, if you will. There was only one movie that I thought of, and that was Cats. So I came home and I told my wife, I'm like, hey, hon, we picked up Capone like we talked about, but guess what? Only for 75 cents, I got Cats. So we watched it gleefully. Granted, it was after about like a few drinks, but Cats itself, the movie, I was expecting something that was an abomination. I was expecting something that was horrible, and it wasn't. The play itself, I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with what it takes to perform that in terms of you have to be a good dancer, you have to be a hell of a singer. And that's what we saw on this. It has star-studded cast with Jason Derulo, Idris Elba. And yeah, also it had Taylor Swift. It had some great, Ian McKellen is in it as well. Some great performances, some outstandingly memorable performances. Jennifer Hudson stole the show, stole the movie with her rendition of Memories. Very akin to what we saw with Showgirls when she stole the show with You're Gonna Love Me, which won her the Academy Award.
Not Showgirls.
You're shaking.
Girls?
Dream Girls.
She won an Oscar for Showgirls.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing so hard. Dreamgirls. Go ahead and put that on Roman's Bingo for those of you who are still playing that. Yeah, Roman's wrong. Gotta love it. But so why was it so bad? I kept on asking myself that 1,000 times. Why were the reviews so bad? To be honest with you, the only things that I can pick out is the camera work. It was very tough to watch it at times because they're trying to put such a grand scale movie into a closed viewing. So you did a lot of close shots. You're missing some of the outstanding dancing, the very cat-like dancing, which really made this play stand out. Because the people that were a part of the cast embodied the cat movements. They're very playful, very graceful, random things that cats do, like stick their legs up in the air and kind of pose and do the ear thing. They did all those movements, and it was outstandingly fantastic to watch and to see the sets. They did everything cat-like, so the sets were almost like akin to what you saw in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where everything was larger scale. Yeah, I thought it was very enjoyable. Could I watch it again? Yes. Probably with less beers in my system, but I could absolutely watch it again. I liked it. Maybe, but I like musicals. I like singing. I really like. I was a big musical theater guy growing up, so I really, really enjoy it. So I give it a solid B minus. Actually, the camera work, maybe if they had a little bit more grander scale, kind of like we saw in Les Miserables, how they did such a grand movie in such a good way to still showcase the dancing and the cast, the ensemble cast. I think if they would have done something a little bit similar to that as opposed to individual shots, I think you would have had better success. So yeah, I really liked it a lot. Great acting, great singing, great performances. Any thoughts, disagreement, any questions for me before?
Oh, what happened?
And we lost.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
I was muted and I hit the wrong button. So it basically backfired on me. I thought it was going to be funny, like, you watched Cats. Let's hear about how crappy it was. And you liked it. And I don't know why I was surprised.
Not a big surprise.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Okay, excellent. And Adam, during rehearsals, asked, or during our pre-show, if you will, said, "Hey, Roman, because this is Adam's thing. Apparently, he goes, were the cat suits anatomically correct? As in, did they show the rectums? Because apparently there was a cut where the cat suits showed the rectums, kind of similar to if you guys saw Into the Woods." The original Into the Woods costume showed the anatomy of the male wolf in all its glory, very akin to Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen, where you see, the twig and berries. Well, the cat costumes had the rectums of the cats. They apparently edited those out. Huh?
Or buttholes. You didn't see the rectum because that's inside.
Rectum.
Okay.
Damn near killed him. Wow.
Really, we're going to
do Roman that one.
Sorry. Moving on.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go ahead and crawl our way, or sashay our way.
Rawr.
Twilight. Yes. So Adam,
Michael Kidd. Oh, sorry.
Madonna. Okay, Adam, because I could probably quote Birdcage all day. So, yes. Let's go ahead and why don't you wear my shoes and tell me what you watched?
And dead air. Oh, it's to me.
Going to you.
I didn't understand your Agador Spartacus, so
I understood it just fine.
I watched Guns Akimbo, which I have been waiting a long time to see ever since I saw the picture of Daniel Radcliffe with guns bolted to his hands on the internet. And I was not disappointed. Guns Akimbo is basically a B movie with the AAA treatment. And it's sad that it didn't get the theatrical release. I don't think it was going to. It was a very low-budget movie. It was a very independent film. It was made by Saban Films, known for their Power Rangers.
I know who that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch the toys that made us.
Power Rangers.
That's right.
That's on my house repeatedly, over and over again.
I describe this movie as if Edgar Wright wanted to make a remake of The Running Man and mix it with John Wick. This is the movie it would be, and it didn't fail me at all. It stars Daniel Radcliffe. He's a bored loser video game developer, and he has an incredible American accent, and it doesn't falter once. But he's also one of those keyboard brave troll shit talkers on the internet. And there's this thing on the internet going around where it's like The Running Man. It's called Schism. It's like this underground thing where they pit people against real people and they put it on the internet and people cheer them on. And it's, very Purge-like, very Running Man-like. And he drunkenly gets on the site at once and starts trolling them like crazy. And he pisses the wrong person off. They trank him and he wakes up with guns bolted to his hands. With 50 bullets in each gun, and he's hunted by this girl named Nyx, who is played by Serena. I'm turning into Roman.
Samara Weaving.
Samara Weaving. Wow, yeah, just could not get it out.
Wow,
I haven't even seen the movie.
From Ready or Not. I think this was made before Ready or Not because I remember seeing pictures a long time ago, and it just didn't get released. It was directed by Jason Lee Howden, who hasn't done many movies, but he has been a visual effects supervisor for a lot of things, including the Avengers, the Hobbit movies, a lot of big budget things. He's been involved in the special effects, and I always think people like that, when they make movies, they make fantastic movies. I mean, look at David Fincher coming from music videos, and now he's an Oscar-winning director. But this movie is bonkers. It is absolutely fun from the beginning to the end, and it's got some of the slickest Edgar Wright-like editing I've ever seen. The colors are fantastic. The music is great. Every time there's some sort of gun battle, there's an industrial cover of an 80s song by the band Three Teeth, and the music is just fantastic. And it ends with a song from Stan Bush from the Transformers movie himself, doing an uplifting song, and it's a great film. It makes fun of a lot of action movie tropes, like guns are really hard to shoot when you don't know what to do. Running really takes a toll on you. And
does he have fingers?
His fingers are they're screwed into where he can't even move them except for pull the triggers.
Okay.
So they're just
weird.
gripping the guns.
Right. So you can't do anything with your hands unless you just shoot the gun.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a running gag in the movie too. In fact, he was hired on the spot when he auditioned, and he got to the part in the audition where he had to pee while holding the guns. And when the director saw that, he's like, "Yeah, you've got the job." And Daniel Radcliffe doesn't get a lot of credit for being a funny actor, but he is hilarious. And his chemistry with Weaving was great. I'm Roman tonight.
Oh boy, Alison, you're screwed. You get 2 of me.
That's right.
So that's 2 movies that he has woke up with something attached to him that doesn't belong. Horns and guns.
That's true. Except this one was good.
So dare we make bets on what he's going to wake up to attach to him next movie?
I don't know. And then he did that thing on what was it called? Equus?
Where he was nude.
Where he was nude. Yeah, he's no longer hairy anymore.
He was on the Ricky Gervais show, Extras, as he played a exaggerated version of himself, always trying to sleep with all the women on the set, and it was hilarious. But yeah, I check out this movie. I rented it for $2 on iTunes, and I think it's $2 on Prime. It's worth buying. I think I will purchase it once my rental cycle is over.
That's no 75 cents for Cats.
That's not.
That's rich that. It's too rich for my blood. Not doing it. Not going to do it.
Yeah, I highly recommend this movie if you like action movies, if you like comedies, because it's an action comedy. If you like Edgar Wright style I can't like say this movie without saying Edgar Wright, because it's very very slick like him. Yeah.
Okay, remind me who Edgar is.
Edgar Wright is the guy that directed Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver.
Oh,
very Baby Driver.
The trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You forgot to mention your favorite out of all those.
Oh yeah, the World's End.
World's End. Did you see that?
All right. I did.
Okay. You didn't like those movies? None of them?
No.
Nobody likes
two. At the end, at the World's End, I just thought the ending was just the first part. I loved it.
Yeah.
The second part, not so
I can see
crazy.
that. I get it. The ending was just wackadoo.
It's goofy.
Yeah. But hey, so real quick before I move on to Alison, did you give it a grade? Do you want to give it a grade or no? Okay, would you like?
I give it an A for Akimbo.
Was that his last name?
No. Akimbo. Akimbo means arms.
And what?
It's the word.
Akimbo means arms?
Akimbo. Like if you're standing like this, you're standing arms akimbo.
I've never heard of that in my life. Have you, Roman?
No. So wait, the word akimbo means arms. So if you're standing like this, that would be arms akimbo. So you would be arms.
Yeah, sure.
Because the word is, anyways. Alison, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
Some research on that later. I don't know about that akimbo nonsense. Hello. Oh, so, okay, my movie that I'm reviewing is, oh my God, I already forgot the name of it. You Should Have Left. It stars Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, I remember reading about this, yeah.
From Mamma Mia. It was directed by, I wrote the guy's name down, hold on, David Coep. Maybe I said it wrong, whatever. He directed Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon and Secret Window and a couple other movies.
I think it's Kep.
Oh, okay, Kep.
I think. I don't
know. This was produced by Blumhouse, so we all know kind of what we're in for when we see a Blumhouse movie. It's, I guess it looked like a horror movie. It was kind of like a suspense horror, I guess, Basically, the movie is about Kevin Bacon's character. He's very wealthy, and he's married to Amanda Seyfried, who's an actress. She is probably 25 years younger than him. They are kind of having problems with their marriage. He's very jealous of her because she's on all these movie sets. It looked like she was on a movie set for like Fast and the Furious, and she's having a lot of sex scenes. And you can tell he's just really, he has a problem with the age difference. He's pretty jealous. So they decide to go away. They have like a 6-year-old daughter. They decide to go away from the world and just be the three of them and just escape. Mm-hmm. So they go on Airbnb and they decide to rent a house in Wales. So fast forward, they go to Wales. The house is often like the farm country. Nobody around. The house is very it's very modern looking. The aesthetic, it looks kind of weird in Wales. It doesn't belong. From the moment they get in the house, it's kind of, you kind of get a vibe that they're trying to make it like The Shining. Something's clearly wrong with this house. There's no pictures on the wall. It doesn't look like anybody lives there. Because, you know, when you rent something in Airbnb, although there's not a bunch of people's crap everywhere, you can still tell that somebody lives in the house, right? Mm-hmm. There's still some kind of, you know, knick-knack or something that looks like, you know, people inhabit the house. This didn't have any of that. Things start happening in the house. So I immediately, now going into this movie, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't watch the trailer. I just heard about it. I knew it was supposed to come in theaters, and then it went to VOD. And anything Blumhouse, anything remotely supposed to be a horror, I'm in. I will say that Kevin Bacon, so I don't think Kevin Bacon's done anything in a really long time. Like, I think it's been like a couple of years. Kevin Bacon ages wonderfully. Like, he has got to be over 50 and he still looked good. He can still act. The problem is, if you give somebody like Kevin Bacon a script that is not very well written, he can't do anything with a poor excuse or a character. And neither can Amanda Seyfried. She's not terrible, but she didn't really have anything to work on either. I'm a big fan, and Adam will tell you this and make fun of me, I'm a big fan of haunted house movies. You tell me the house is haunted, I am all for that movie. I love Paranormal Activity, the original. I love Sinister. I mean, Sinister wasn't really a haunted house movie, but anything where like...
You like The Others?
Things, huh?
You like The Others?
I do. I like The Others. When spooky stuff starts happening in the house, I love it, because I'd be like, I'm out of here. The second something spooky started happening in Airbnb, I'm done. So yeah, things just start happening weird. Shadows, a lot of shadow movements. Time changes. It goes, the clock from 10:30 goes to 3:30, and no one knows where you were for 5 hours. The little girl starts having dreams. Everybody starts having dreams. My problem with this movie is it had so much potential. And for the first half hour, I was into it. And I was like, okay, cool. I see what they're trying to do. They got a lot of visual things going on. There was a couple jump scares, but they were garbage jump scares. And then the movie just dies. It's not scary at all. I saw the ending coming about 20 minutes before the ending actually happened. It finally clicked, and I'm like, oh, that's the twist? Oh my God, that's horrible. And I know that we've talked about that one movie, The Lodge, where we figured the plot out before the movie ended. That at least had a good twist where, man, they really tried. Like, that was a really good effort. I saw what they were doing. This is not. If you've seen Secret Window, if you've seen Shining, you kind of will figure it out. Sometimes a house makes you go crazy, basically. I really don't know what else to say about this movie. A lot of people liked it when I went online, and a lot of people didn't. I felt that it was kind of a waste of my time, and I'm sad because it was a good role for Kevin Bacon. I think he could have done something because I remember Stir of Echoes, and I think he's better than this. But I was very bored, and I'm going to give this movie a C- and call it I Shouldn't Have Rented It.
Whoa.
So it's what you expected Cats to be.
I'm so Blumhouse. They keep trying to do different things, and I respect that. I respect that they're trying to twist the haunted house, and they're trying to make it a little bit more, original, and it's just falling flat every single time. You can only do so much with jump scares and shadows, and you look down one hallway and it changes, and you can only go so far with that. It needs to have a better ending than just, okay, cool. That's the ending, huh? Like if I was in the theater, I don't know. I probably would have been home and it was still going, and I would have been like, ooh. I was just disappointed. So I'm kind of bummed that I spent money on it.
Bummed
Okay.
house.
Bumhouse.
Bumhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, and then I'll go ahead and finish up. So we go from a scary haunted house to a flight. Yes, I'm going to be talking about Amazon Prime's movie 7500, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh yeah, about the Atari.
Not quite. Not
Well, that's
quite.
a 7800.
Yeah, not quite. But if you take the Atari game and make it into a flight and make him a co-pilot and make him flying from Berlin to Paris, you would be absolutely correct. And that's how the movie begins. It's very interesting. I'm a huge fan. We've talked about this in snippets before on the podcast. I don't think necessarily on the Zoomcast. I'm a huge fan of intimate setting movies where it's just one or two characters pretty much in one scene or one set the whole time. And that's basically what you have.
You have a play.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the film takes place in the cockpit. So if I were to hand you, go ahead, get it out. Go ahead. We talked about cat buttholes, so go ahead, Alison. Get the giggles out.
That was funny. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
They call it the flight deck now.
Do they?
Seriously?
Yeah.
No, Akimbo. Oh,
So
for the record, I did look up what Akimbo means, and it does mean arms at the waist.
okay, so Akimbo arms is arms of the waist arms. Okay. All right. So, okay.
Okay, so they're in the cockpit.
So they are in the cockpit. So are you pro cock or are you more deck? Would you rather me talk deck jokes or cock jokes?
It doesn't matter.
I'm good with cock or deck.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the flight deck. So this is the type of script, if I were to hand it to you guys, it would be almost annoying because you would see internal scene, flight deck, nighttime. There you go. That's basically how the script would be.
That's the scene descriptions.
Yeah, it would be the scene description. But it's very captivating how they did it. They did it in such a way where I found it very entertaining and very captivating because it lets your imagination paint the rest of the picture of the action sequences. So as the film continues on, the action, if you will, takes place outside of the flight deck itself, where the flight is being hijacked. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is watching all the action on a monitor. And somebody potentially is being hurt that he has connections with. And what does he do? Does he let these hijackers take the plane, essentially use this plane to their needs and desires for their terrorist actions, or does he stand strong? And the film continues on in that. I absolutely enjoyed this film. It was an easy watch. It was an hour and 40 minutes. The ending doesn't really give you a definitive stamp on this is what happens. It doesn't really tie it into a bow. You see the character of Joseph Gordon-Levitt elevate from this person who's very focused on doing his job to thinking outside the box and having to solve these real-time issues that are horrific. His pilot dies, and he gets stabbed in his left arm. And in order,
Spoiler!
I'm not gonna watch it now.
I'm just
the
kidding.
pilot dies.
I'm just kidding.
Left arm.
It sounds like all the other hijack movies that have ever been made, like the movie with Jodie Foster, and I mean, it's right.
I agree. However, this is, and I thought the same thing. I'll be honest with you. I kind of watched it just because I was trying to figure something to review for you guys, because I wasn't really sold on the Wasp Network. The Five Bloods was 3 weeks ago now when it was released, so I didn't think it was relevant. So I'm looking for something new to share with you guys. So I put it on just as a Hail Mary pass.
So it's our fault, Adam.
No, with you guys being listening land. It's not all about you
so
guys.
So it's your fault, listening land.
Pay us money or we'll talk about old movies.
No, please don't. I enjoy talking about old
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I could talk about duck soup every episode. But anyways, to digress, I thought it was to see the acting skills of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, to see how he shows his range and diversity is awesome. I give the movie a B+. The only thing that's keeping it from an A is I would have liked a little bit more of a tight ending. But it's similar to a degree with Phone Booth. We talked about it earlier. Where
that's what I was thinking of when you were talking about how it was an intimate setting.
It's a similar degree with Phone Booth where you kind of are given this ending, but it's kind of like, okay, now you have to live your life, continue to live your life after you just endured these things. I do look forward to watching it again because there's a couple things that in my head played really nicely. I liked it. But that's my take, and that's our takes on the films. Does anyone have any questions on my review before I start talking to listening land about how to follow us on YouTube? Anything?
No, but before you do that, I just want to give you guys both a shout out because you guys have been starting to write reviews on our website. I appreciate that because I'm not the best writer. Like I can talk, but you guys are very articulate in how you write. Roman always starts off with blah, 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 or as I like to, like the Trolls 2 World Tour, or as I like to call it, the Pixie Sticks on Crack.
The dangers of Pixie Sticks.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. It's funny. And so I appreciate that you guys are doing that. Adam.
Well, Alison, sweetheart, I don't know if you noticed, me and Adam aren't the best looking guys, so we have to have something to us. Okay, so we have to have the wordplay. Okay, just saying.
And as you can see after today, I can't do really good on the camera anyway. So I just said I can't do good on camera.
I can't do good on camera.
Mongo just pawned in Game of Life.
We're actually going, both Adam and I actually are going to roll into the place where people can read good.
Oh, like Zoolander?
Derek Zoolander
Zoolander Center for kids that read good and want to do other things.
Exactly. That's going to be us. We're going to be a graduation class of 2018.
When do we have a show just for Zoolander?
Well,
God. Anyways, I digress. I'm Adam, and Adam's doing his retro reviews, which is really cool. He's watching old movies again and reviewing them, and I want to give you guys a shout out because it's awesome. So if everybody can go on our website and read them, it's cool.
What is our website?
Cinemadnesspodcast.com.
well,
And I appreciate people who are commenting. Roman also did this thing about his dad that was really touching, how his dad made him see movies differently, and he made him think more about movies, which I can totally see your dad doing that. And I see that's what you do as well. So I thought that was really funny. And because I can see the Colonel just being like, but why? Why do you say, why do you do that? And why? So I don't know. I thought that was funny. And then also Roman decided to make his dream team baseball thing, which was really long to read, but it was really good. So
cinematic baseball team.
Yeah. It was a lot to read, but it was good. So everybody should start reading.
In retrospect, I think we should have done it like day by day. Probably released it. Here's the pitchers, here's the catcher, and kind of in retrospect, maybe.
Maybe.
But thank you, Alison. Appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing your contributions if you want. If not, it'll be like high school where either Adam and I will write it for you and put your name on it. Okay?
Wait, how is that like high school?
You
like you did other people's homework?
Allegedly. I don't know what you're talking about. I did not. Okay?
Wait, you guys did homework?
Anywho.
So anyways, those are reviews. We want to hear what you guys think. If you like our takes, awesome. If not, awesome. We want to hear what you guys say. For those of you who are watching this via YouTube, please go ahead at the bottom. First and foremost, click and subscribe. Of course, you can always hit the bell, as everyone says, for notifications when we have new content on the YouTube channel. If not going to hurt our feelings at all. At least two of us. One person might be crying over it.
Ooh, I wonder who that might be.
Yeah, it's all right. He listens to Dashboard Confessional and he texts me. Yeah. But no.
Oh, wait, real quick. Sorry, because I know we're going to do a game. Adam had mentioned John Wick in his review, right? Akimbo. Okay. I finally watched John Wick the other night because you guys have been talking about John Wick trilogy for like forever. I remember we talked about this like months ago.
Yeah.
I finally watched it, and that's not my type of movie. Action movies are fine, whatever, but I actually really liked it, and I love Keanu Reeves, so he can do no wrong in my mind. But holy crap, like it was just, I've never seen so many dead bodies. We looked up like how many you've seen it, right, Roman?
Roman's seen all three. He did a review on 3.
That's right. Like in the first 5 minutes alone, there was like 20 people that got headshots. I was like, wow. Yeah, I liked it. And man, that dog scene, whew, that was brutal. That was brutal. Yeah.
Okay, so take that first gun scene in his house.
Yeah.
Put a red tint on it and play an industrial version of "You Spin Me Around Like a Record," and you've got Guns Akimbo.
Oh, geez.
You mean by
I wanted them to play that headshot song during that. Headshot. Like every time he'd do it. Yeah. I mean, it was good. The choreography, like you and I talked about, was good. The cinematography, everything was really, really, really good. So I'm excited to watch the next two. So.
Well, Alison, I would like to welcome you to 2014. Thank you. Spoiler alert, 2020 is going to suck. Oh, man. We're talking no gag reflex sucking. It is going to be glorious. But, hey, why don't we take a minute to play a game? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I'm excited.
I probably shouldn't say that after I have, fellatio references. But let's go ahead and move on to it. So today's game is going to be called 1 out of 3. And the goal of today's game is all the questions have to do with summer blockbuster movies. So I'm going to give our wonderful contestants the date of the film. I'm going to choose one. Like, for example, for this sample, I'm going to say the movie was released on June 7th, 1984. And I'm going to select one of the two contestants, if you will. So, Alison.
We're contestants.
Yes, you are. Alison, I'm going to give you 1 of 3 information. You're going to get an opportunity. I'm going to allow you to either choose the movie title, the song title, or the singer.
Okay.
And she's going to choose one of them. And she has to fill in the blanks for the ones that I did not give her. So all the information belongs to Summer Blockbuster movie soundtracks. So I will give you the date of it, And I'll give you the chance of one of three things, such as the name of the song, that was hot off the soundtrack, if you will, or the name of the artist, or the name of the movie. And you have to give me the other two. If you get any of those wrong, your opponent, if you will get a chance to steal. So if you get two of the three, if you don't get any of them, if you're stumped, he or she... Did your chair break on you again, Adam?
Yep. Yeah, this chair is old.
Ah, my heavens, yeah. Betty White, she had it first. So let's go ahead and move forward. Any questions?
No questions, but a suggestion. Instead of yelling out our name or something, since it's musical, get your Akimbos down. We should make some kind of musical noise.
Well, I'm going to, so for example, we'll go Alison first. Here's your question. So
Right.
Oh, we take turns. My bad.
Unless there's a chance to steal.
Got it. Got it.
So
Sorry.
And
I got it.
let's make it even more interesting.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I'll let you go on a run, as in, if you get the question right, I'm going to just let you answer the rest of them. So therefore, yeah.
I'm just going to
you're
sit
in
here
trouble
then.
now. Well, who goes first?
I'm going to go ladies first, but here's the sample for those of you at home. So again, as I alluded to, June 7th, 1984. So Alison, you get a choice. This is a sample question. You get a choice of artist, movie, or song title. Which would you choose?
Artist.
The artist is Ray Parker Jr. And again, the movie is from June 7th, 1984.
Oh, that would be Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters.
That is correct. Yes. So if she were to say Ghostbusters, I don't know the movie title, I'll give you a moment.
I'd be an idiot.
You I would go, Adam, do you want to go for the steal? And Adam would say,
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
and I would say you're wrong, and I would get the points. So
Damn it.
every time you get it correct, you get 1,000 points. Of course.
I don't know
And if-
anything about Ghostbusters.
No. Oh, dude, I should get you in touch with this group that tours local areas dressed as Ghostbusters. They're pretty cool.
There's like this thing behind you that looks very similar to a proton pack. My kid's
All
got
right.
one. You can borrow it.
There's a trap
So-
over here, too.
Okay. So are we ready? Adam, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess I'm ready to watch Alison get them all right and me sit here.
Well, you know what? Welcome to Payback, okay? Just saying. Okay. Alison, are you ready?
I'm so ready. Let's do it.
Excellent. Listening land, are you ready?
Roll.
Roll.
All right. So the date of this summer blockbuster was released on July 9th, 2010. July 9th of 2010. Alison, would you like,
Song.
you want the song? Okay. The song is Happy.
Oh, that's that Pharrell song. Pharrell.
Okay, good.
Happy.
Now you got to give me a movie title.
Despicable Me.
No!
You're incorrect. Adam, for the steal.
Despicable Me Too.
Oh, Despicable Me Too. It might sound crazy what I'm about to say. Adam got it correct. Good
What
job,
is-
Adam. That's the point.
I gave you a hint.
I knew it from the beginning.
All right. So, Adam, this is your turn now. You got 1,000 points, so now you could run the board. All that.
Shit.
Exactly. All right, here we go. The Summer Blockbuster was released in June 16th of 1978. June 16th of 1978. Adam, would you like the song title, the artist, or the movie?
Artist.
The artist was Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta.
There's a lot of songs in there.
I know.
The movie is Grease.
Okay, excellent.
And the song is You're the One That I Want.
Ooh, 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 honey. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Good job, Adam. 2,000 points. Way to go. We're going to keep it on your side of the board, Adam. Don't worry, Alison. You still can come back on this. All right. The year this summer blockbuster was released was July 3rd, 1985. July 3rd, 1985. Adam, would you like the name of the song, the movie, or the artist?
The artist, please.
The artist was Huey Lewis and the News.
Come on!
I knew you were going to do that. Sorry, Allison.
What was the year?
July 3rd, 1985.
Why do you even need the year?
The movie is Back to the Future,
Okay, excellent.
and it's one of two songs, but I'm going to go with The Power of Love.
Excellent. Good job, Adam. Way to go. 3,000 points. Sorry, Allison. I wrote that question just straight up for you. Sorry. Apologize. Okay. So let's
All you
go
had to
ahead.
say was Despicable Me Too.
Screw Despicable Me Too. And that song.
Shit. Okay, we got a couple more questions, guys. We're wrapping this up, but you're doing such a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're doing such a great job.
This should be just a whole show of this.
We could. The year the Summer Blockbuster dropped was June 30th of 2004. June 30th of 2004.
Oh.
Adam, would you like the name of the movie? Sorry, guys. Apologize. Would you like the name of the movie? Would you like the name of the song? Or would you like the name of the artist?
Oh, I don't do well with anything in the 2000s. Artist.
Okay. The artist was Dashboard Confessional.
Oh. 2010, you said?
2004.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, okay, there you are.
Sorry. I was trying to sink down to your level.
Trying to think of a movie that would have shitty music in it.
Oh, sugar.
Is it? No, it's not a blockbuster. I
Yes,
pass.
it is. Okay. Wow. Not even a guess. All right, Allison, do you want to attempt to take the ball and run with it?
Oh, I got it. The song would be Vindicated, and it's from Spider-Man.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's Spider-Man 2.
Come on!
2. I'm sorry. I really feel like an S-head right now. I don't.
Oh, she left.
Sugar. Oh.
That's crap.
Oh.
She got so upset she wanted to move down to the bottom of the screen now.
Did I move? Oh, I didn't move on mine.
I'm seriously fearing for my life right now. I'm not happy. Okay. You know what? Wait, hold on. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I just got close enough. Yeah, you get the 1,000 points. Good job. All right. Well, go ahead.
Look at that, a mercy point.
That's not, I don't need a mercy point. I know that I knew the Dashboard Confessional song.
You did. You absolutely did. Let's go ahead. Last two I hold in my hands. Let's have some fun with this. Okay, Allison, you get the board, even though I got the points. So I got 1,000. Adam has 3,000, but the last question, as always, will be 1,000,000 points. So, just saying. The year the Summer Blockbuster was released was July 3rd of 2002. Allison, would you like the name? It's not a sequel. I'll just throw that out there.
I'm just going to make it a sequel. A song. Song title.
Okay. You want the song title? Okay. The song title is Men in Black.
Men in Black by Will Smith.
Okay. What's the movie title?
Men in Black.
Excellent. Good job. Way to go.
Wait, what year did you say it was?
It was 2002.
No.
Yeah. July
No, Men in
3rd.
Black came out in 1997.
What?
What?
I was still in high school when that came out.
Seriously? Okay.
Hold
Well,
on. We're not here
Anyway.
we're not here about
It was Men in Black 2.
okay. So
Better not have been Men in Black 2.
you know what? I'm going to give you that one. So 1997. Good job, Allison. Way to go. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. We have our last question. Allison, this one's going to be for 1,000,000 points. So you could win the game on this one single question. The year, or the The date that this summer blockbuster was released was June 24th of 1994. And
oh,
go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask, did you want the? Yeah.
You said 1994.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch it up, and you can give me the movie.
The movie was The Lion King.
The Lion King is The Circle of Life by Elton John.
You're incorrect, Adam. You want to go for the steal?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton
Yes,
John.
you're absolutely correct. And we just lost Alison. She's going to hate us forever. But
yeah. You picked really
I'm sorry.
movies.
What was that? Oh, apparently I just got something in my ear that said Adam did not phrase that in the form of a question. So, Alison, you get the points. Good job.
I don't want the points.
Oh, it's your turn to rant. I ranted last time.
Ranting? I'm not ranting.
Yeah, you are.
What to rant about? Aren't we almost out of minutes anyways?
I did a positive rant.
Yes, go ahead.
Last time. Do something nice.
Okay, I'll rant.
All right, you have 30 seconds and
go.
go.
Here we go.
What? Go?
Yes.
I'm going to rant because I'm pissed because people are not wearing their freaking masks down here, and I want to get back to as normal as I possibly can because my concert year was ruined. I only got to see one band this year, and it wasn't worth it for me. It wasn't good enough, and I'm getting all my shows are canceled, and I'm getting all this money back, which is fine, and I'm pissed because I didn't go see my shows this year, and people need to wear their mask, and we need to get a vaccine so I can go back to watching live music.
Right at 30. Nice.
So where is down here? You said down here they're not wearing masks, so not everyone knows what down here is.
We're in the lovely, lovely, wonderful state of Florida.
Yeah, the biggest contributor to COVID cases.
Yes. So wear your mask. I have a mask.
You can get a Cinemadness mask if you find the link in our Facebook page.
Ooh. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I believe we're going to reset. Is that right, Adam?
Yeah, we're going to take an actual break.
Okay. So we'll come right back at you, and then we're going to talk about summer blockbusters.
Roman needs to urinate. I missed that.
You miss Roman urinating?
Well, boy, please tell me you're going to knock that one off.
If you become a patron, you can learn about Roman urinating as well. All right, we will be back soon.
Hey, wait. You can get a stream of Roman urinating.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take a break on that one.
Stay tuned.
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
There's so much kid stuff.
And I can keep them for 3 evenings.
Ordinary video stores don't even come close to Blockbuster Video. We even have a 24-hour quick drop.
Wow.
The favorite family video store from over there is now over here.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much for that charming break. We're going to be focusing on our main subject today, which is the summer blockbuster. And we're going to go a little bit about what exactly a summer blockbuster is, how we got to this point. Maybe kind of do a little bit of mourning on the summer blockbusters that we're not going to have this year in 2020 for potential obvious reasons.
I don't have a 40, but I have water.
This is for my homies. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward. And then Adam's going to talk a little bit about our wonderful Facebook tournament that we had going on, where we got to choose the best blockbuster of that year. We'll talk more about it in a second, if I may. But let's go ahead and talk about what exactly a summer blockbuster is. Alison, what do you know about summer blockbusters?
A movie is deemed a summer blockbuster because 1, it comes out in summertime, and 2, it's supposed to be the big hit. It's supposed to bring in way more money than what it costs the studios to make. There's usually like 1 or 2 major movies that everybody's anticipating to come out. They know that school's out, so it's to try and bring everybody in and hopefully blow up the box office revenue and not be one of those bombs that we've talked about before.
You bust the block, if you will.
Now, Adam, that wasn't always the case. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, summer blockbusters, they've become kind of just a big mindless popcorn movie, but they're not always that way. I mean, there are some maybe on my list of movies that were made to entertain but ended up being blockbusters. But nowadays, summer blockbusters are just made to be summer blockbusters.
Yeah. Like if you look backwards from the first summer blockbuster, which was Jaws, and you go for every year who the summer blockbuster was, you'll see that it's just kind of gone to, oh yeah, that one, or oh, the sequel. Of course it's going to make money. But if you go back to the 70s and the 80s, there are movies that when I was going through some of them, I was like, really? That was the big money maker? Oh, okay. Like that's not really a popcorn flick. It was actually a good movie and it just happened to bring in a lot of money, or it just made so much more money than what it cost them to make it. Because that's also a blockbuster. That's also deemed a blockbuster. If you only pay, it only costs you $30 million to make and you make $600 million, that's a blockbuster.
Yeah. And before Jaws release, the summertime area, if you will, was largely considered by box offices or by production studios as a very dead area. Really, the big moneymaker was closer to the holiday season. Between the summertime period of basically between Memorial Day and Labor Day was pretty much considered a desert, if you will. So around that time period when Jaws was released, it really did have a great impact, a very strong impact on and it changed how we marketed films, or how films were marketed, and how merchandise was sold based on the film. You had a lot of people wearing the t-shirts with Jaws. You had a lot of shark-related merchandise. So it really did set up to what we experienced in the 80s and especially in the 90s for everything that we can expect from summer blockbuster films. So I found that very fascinating when prepping for the show. So that's how we got to this point. In terms of, it seems like every year we keep on upping the ante in terms of the summer blockbuster film. What are some current trends that you guys are noticing for the last 10 years? Let's just focus the last 10 years for summer blockbuster films. What are some current trends that you are seeing?
Marvel.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Marvel.
Yeah. Marvel and sequels and animated films. You put out an animated film, especially a sequel, like Despicable Me 2, it's going to blow up.
Okay.
Most of the time sequels, even if it's not animated, is going to blow up, because if the first one did well, everybody's going to run out and see the second one, right?
Yeah,
You're all
an
hyped
invested
up
audience.
for the first one. You want to see, it's just like a band putting out a sophomore album. You want to see if it's just as good as the freshman album. So you want to go out. So Spider-Man 2, Despicable Me, Incredibles 2, those are all huge blockbusters. I was shocked that Incredibles 2 was the biggest of that year when I looked it up, because
nobody talks about it.
Exactly. Nobody talked about that movie. I loved the original Incredibles. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the second one, and I don't remember people being like, oh man, have you seen Incredibles 2? I don't know. I think there were some other things. I think Avengers and I think Black Panther came out the same year, not the same time, but they came out the same year, like maybe a couple months after. And people just seem to forget about Incredibles 2 because it was all about Black Panther. So I don't know. But again, it's a sequel and it's Pixar.
Yeah. I was about to ask the question. You mentioned sequels, you mentioned comic book movies.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, cartoons. What commonality was amongst those? And Adam, you kind of touched on that. What commonality are you noticing amongst those types of films that are being released during this time period?
They're gigantic.
Yeah.
Big budget.
Big budget.
I was surprised Fast and the Furious. None of the Fast and the Furious movies were on the list. Had the new one come out this summer, I think hands down it would have been the biggest movie of this summer. But there was something else that always made more money than that movie in every year. So,
well, this year we also would have had Black Widow, and even though a lot of people aren't interested in Black Widow, it would have brought in a lot of money. The same way Captain Marvel was an unnecessary film, but everybody went to see it.
I agree, but there's one movie that would have blown all of them out of the water, and that would have been Wonder Woman.
Yeah, 1984. That was really wrapping up.
Hands down.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to get Ghostbusters too.
Yes. I think both of those would have blown Black Widow out of the water.
Yeah.
Well, both you guys are forgetting we also missed out on James Bond.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
It was just about to come out, too.
Yeah, James Bond was getting ramped up, I think, right at the beginning or the end of May, right?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Yeah. There's a couple of films that they've been pushing back. So we'll see where that goes. You know, maybe we'll all rush to the drive-in movie theater and enjoy them. Maybe.
Oh, we went to the drive-in last week.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, God, here we go. Why didn't you invite me to the drive-in? Now, I'm prepared for this.
I didn't say this time.
I know. But I'm prepared for it because you can't really see a drive-in movie with 3 people unless you have like a car that you can like turn it around and open the thing up and, you know, or have a truck. So you would have been very uncomfortable in the back seat of my car watching a drive-in movie. And, you know, last minute, you can't, yes.
I'm almost 100% certain that Adam's been in the backseat a couple of times of a vehicle.
But not to watch a movie. Yes.
I'm almost 100% certain that Adam's been in the backseat a couple times to watch a movie. No, please continue.
I'm there to watch the movie, not do anything else. So
I'm out. If that's
now I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Plus it was The Evil Dead. I don't think you like The Evil Dead, do you?
Is this a me thing now? What happened to Adam? I feel like I'm just, what the hey? I feel like we're like in a political debate where I'm thinking, okay, you two are going to go at it. Then you just start stabbing me.
No, there's nothing to go at. I went to the movies this is the first time we've gone to the movies during all this, and it was a drive-in. Drive-ins are making a big comeback, and I immediately felt guilty because I didn't invite you, because it's going backwards to the time that you never were invited. You, Roman.
Okay. Well, thank you for thinking about me, how much you leave me out. I really appreciate that. I think that's very kind and enduring.
But going back to the drive-in, there are drive-ins there's one near us in Tampa. They're playing new movies. So
they are.
I don't think they're going to play big movies
not
right
blockbusters,
away,
but
no, they're not playing blockbusters, but they are playing the new movies. So that was positive.
They're playing the new movies.
The new movies.
Yeah, that's going to be something to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's rather sad to see the films that are not being released, and we touched on this previously with Joe when we talked about the box offices and why there's such a hubbub about Universal releasing their films on a VOD format. I was really looking forward to this year Mulan. I was really looking forward to the live action version of that. That looked awesome. I was looking forward to 1984, Wonder Woman 1984. I was really looking forward to a lot of the films getting ready to come out this year. And they're delayed purely not because there's not a market for them, but because, simply put, they don't want to be released in this VOD format, which...
I don't blame them. Yeah. I'm not watching Wonder Woman at home. It's not going to happen.
I am. I'm fine.
And we've gone over this before, and that's fine. I mean, I don't have a huge surround sound. I want to see that in the theater. So I don't blame them for waiting. They need to make their money back, and I don't think they're going to do that. I don't even think they're going to do that in November, but maybe. I mean, we'll see. All eyes are on the movies in the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
All eyes are on Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, all eyes are on Tenet. But I think they should have pushed it to next year. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. We're not going to have a summer blockbuster. Or if we do have a summer blockbuster, it's going to be whatever was on VOD. So your summer blockbuster might be Sonic. It might be
Bad Boys.
Oh God, with the Bad Boys again. Invisible Man. That did. But yeah, I mean, Bad Boys was in the theaters, so I'm just trying to think of somebody who just went strictly VOD. And,
Sonic wasn't either. Sonic was in the theater.
Yeah, it's true.
There's the Chris Hemsworth film.
That's a Netflix original though.
Yeah. Hey, but that's VOD.
But it's not. It can't be a blockbuster.
Well, it can be a block party where we're all gathered around watching it. So henceforth, it could be a blockbuster.
I don't know. It might be a blockbuster this year in this day and age.
Well, I mean, it is produced by the Russo brothers, so all the Marvel zombies will come and go see it.
If you're able to get an Oscar nomination, you can be a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, can we get a name of the film? We've been talking about it and hinting and hawing.
It's one word. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, no, it cannot. Okay.
I'll look it up. I have no interest in seeing it because it looked warlike.
I saw it. It was good. It was a good film.
I saw it. I just don't know what it is.
Well, that's not surprising. I thought of you yesterday because I watched Ragnarok.
One of the greatest movies that Marvel ever made.
I'm looking forward to writing a write-up on ranking all the MCU films, in my opinion.
Extraction.
Oh, yeah. And they're already working on an Extraction 2.
Oh man, he looks hot in this movie. Never mind, I might need to watch this. Woo!
Oh boy.
He's got his hair cut.
Extraction was a very good film. It was action-packed from beginning to end. It's just a high octane. The director actually was a stunt coordinator for the Marvel films. So, yeah, it really was well done for the most part. No issues. But you're talking about summer blockbusters right now. That there's a couple articles leading into that, leading up to the release that said this is basically your summer blockbuster movie if nothing is released. But
here's the problem. We're saying to define a summer blockbuster is a movie that makes so much money, way more than what it costs to make. These VODs, VOD, the ones that you can pay to rent, yes, that is bringing in money, but Extraction isn't bringing in money. You're bringing in $9 a month for Netflix viewers. It can't be a summer blockbuster, a true summer blockbuster, because you can't validate that. You can't validate how much money it brought in compared to how much it was to make it.
But really, you're almost splitting hairs. So you're saying that the reason why, what it sounds like you're saying is, the reason why we're not considering something a summer blockbuster is not necessarily the impact that it could have or the quality of it. It's whether or not it's financially viable for the studios.
That's what I believe a summer blockbuster is. I don't believe that it has anything to do with if it's a good movie or not, or if it made an impact on, society. Because if I look back at some of these summer blockbusters, they're good movies. A summer blockbuster to me is what was popular with everybody, so popular that they spent so much money going over and over and over. You know how many times I went to see Independence Day in the theater? It's because I wanted to see the movie. I liked it. Yep. Yes, that's why it's a summer blockbuster. It cost $60 million to make, but made $700 million. Doesn't mean it's a good film. Okay. So yes, that's how I see it. So I think that a Netflix movie cannot be considered a summer blockbuster.
Streaming cannot break a box office.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion. It could be a good movie, and it's fine if it gets nominated for awards, but I just don't see how we can say, looking back next year, what was the summer blockbuster for 2020? You're going to have to look at what movies came out, and there's still time. There's the end of this month, and there's through August. I guess that's still considered summer, right?
Yep.
So maybe Tenet will be it. I don't know. It has the capability to be, although it's probably a really expensive movie to make.
Well, which is going to be funny because August generally is the dump month.
Yep.
August is generally the dump month where you usually have bad films that come into play. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that evolves. So
it's also going to be hard. Whoever does make a lot of money in the movie, so if it's Tenet, we have to give them props because the theaters are going to be at half capacity. So if you were able to make all this money and, make more than what you paid for the movie when half the people were coming to see the movies, that's a pretty big deal too, because you're already losing money because only half the people can show up.
Right. But is it the entire theater that's half capacity, or is it the theater, or is it the theaters that are half capacity? Is it the entire building that's half capacity, or is it the theaters that are half capacity?
No, I took it as the theater. Each individual theater is at half capacity.
Okay. Well, that still can make a lot of money, because if it's the only movie out, they could put it on 20 screens.
You're right. And I think for right now, I think it is the only new movie that's coming out. So, yeah. I don't know if the movie theaters are risking that to buy 2 or 3 of them, though. I think they're all scared to do that.
Yeah, I would be too.
I mean, they're playing Inception. They're playing Inception to bring people into the theater to get prepped for Tenet. Like, come see this old Christopher Nolan movie. Hopefully you won't fall asleep like most people did. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, I missed the movies. There's a movie coming out in a couple of weeks that looks exactly like this movie. I'm going to go see it. That's smart.
Yeah.
Very, very smart.
Alison, I don't think that you're going to be probably be the spokesperson for the Tenet film. Something tells me that they'll probably choose somebody else.
That's Christopher Nolan.
I love Christopher Nolan. I loved Inception. I thought it was brilliant, and I think this movie looks fantastic. I love Christopher Nolan movies. I love Interstellar. Interstellar was phenomenal. I love him. The only one I haven't seen from him is that Dunkirk, because it's war, and I don't care about that. Huh?
It's a war movie.
It's a war movie. Unless Ryan Reynolds is in it, I don't care. So, yeah. So, I'll be the spokesperson for it. I'm just not going to pay $10 and risk getting sick to go see Inception for the 3rd time.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how we evolve, because I think on a social commentary thing is how we as a society are evolving.
Are we though?
Well, that's what we can say. I mean, in retrospect, you can see during the Spanish flu how we evolved from there in terms of how we evolved healthcare-wise, how we evolved with some of our knowledge, how we evolved with our medical news, and how it traveled. And you can see how we set the tones for future pandemics based on what we learned from the Spanish flu. That's my opinion, and that's my observation. Now, it might be the same thing where we can see how we evolve. But then again, we could take this a different angle in conversation, but let's focus it more on the movie aspect and how it really affects the movie industry is what I would like to do. As much as I like the conversation, I do think that we could probably go on a different angle on this. Yeah. But let's go ahead and continue on. And rather than battle out in terms of opinion, why don't we battle out in terms of a tournament style? Because, yeah, you like that?
That was good.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was planned.
No.
It wasn't. I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Wow, you really sound like a mom right there.
I'm proud of you.
I am the mom. I am the mom of the show.
You're a good kid, Roman.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. So, Adam, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the tournament that we had and some of the results, some of the observations. I know we would like to thank our wonderful, devoted fans out there who lent their opinions to our tournament to help us select the best summer blockbuster. Was it? What was the title of that?
It was our first annual Summer Blockbuster Throwdown.
Okay.
Basically, what I did was I took. How many did I take?
16 or 32. 16 or 30.
Yeah, I took a bunch of movies. And a bunch of summer blockbusters. I tried to pick the biggest ones and randomly pitted them against each other and left it for our followers to vote on which beat out the other. We did it college bracket style. because there was no March Madness, so we had Cinemadness.
Ooh.
Oh, I like what you did there. Way to go.
All right. Yeah, I did a sports thing.
I know, that's a rarity.
So it went on for weeks. We did 2 votes per week, and it was an interesting thing that we did. It ended up being it came down to Star Wars Episode 4 versus Raiders of the Lost Ark. What would you guys have chosen?
Well, before I say that, it was I voted not based on what my favorite movie was, but what I felt embodied Summer Blockbuster. Like what made an impact, what do I remember as being a big deal, that type of thing. Because I think Jaws was against, I don't know, can you see what Jaws was against?
I've got it right here. Jaws, at the beginning it was up against Gladiator.
Oh, no, Jaws went hand on.
And then it went against E.T. And then it went against Star Wars.
Right. So when it was to the point where it was Jaws and Star Wars, it was really hard for me. And I actually picked Jaws, even though Star Wars is more of a favorite movie for me, because Jaws embodies Summer Blockbuster. That movie wouldn't work any other time but summer. It made people afraid to go in the water. It made such a huge impact in movies and just life, as, going to the beach or whatever, that I had to pick that. I didn't pick it as, oh, which movie did I like better? And that's why I think there was a couple of them that I went against what I thought I would.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really hard choices.
There were. I knew from the beginning, from what people were picking, I knew it was going to be either Spielberg with Jaws at the end or Lucas. Yeah, I mean, those are obvious. It was going to be those two against each other.
And it was
the juggernauts.
Yeah. I was actually surprised because I was thinking that with how big the comic book movies have been, that the comic book films like the Avengers, Dark Knight, even Batman 1989 would have had a stronger showing. So I am surprised to a degree of how the movies panned out. But yeah, it was very interesting to see how it played out. I unfortunately was not as well thought as Alison. I went with what did I personally like.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. I think most people did, and I think that's why, like, The Dark Knight didn't win its bracket.
What?
I don't think it did.
No, it didn't. It was
it lost against E.T. So
yeah, it was a 50-50 head-to-head tie.
I don't know. I don't like E.T., but whatever. But I would have voted for E.T. because it probably made a bigger impact. I don't know. I never saw E.T. in the theater. So
I did. I was 2.
Oh, Jesus.
We get it.
But at the end, the finals, I had to go with Raiders. I just had to.
I did the same thing.
And it kind of killed me, but I had to.
As big as a Star Wars fan I am, Raiders changed the adventure movie for everything.
I went with Raiders as well, just because of the original 3 films. Episode 4 is not really my favorite, to be frank with you. So I preferred Raiders over Episode 4. Now, if you would have said Empire Strikes Back, no, I'm going to Empire Strikes Back. That's just my personal favorite.
Well, maybe that'll pop up next year.
Yeah, or maybe we can bring it for Christmas movies or holiday movies. Maybe we can bring the tournament back to talk about holiday movies. How about that?
Yeah, and watch A Christmas Story get a bunch of votes.
Wow, it got quiet. It's like the show just ended.
Pretty much.
Anyways, okay, so you wanted us to pick our top 3 summer blockbusters of all time?
Yeah, let's go through it. And why don't we go ladies' choice first?
Ladies' choice. Well, then I pick me.
Go ahead, ladies' choice.
Like Sadie Hawkins?
Pretty much.
Okay, so I mean, this was super easy for me. Number 3 is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Aside from once I get to my number 1, that is my second favorite trilogy. I just adore those movies. You wouldn't have all these National Treasure movies and all that without these movies. So number 2, which was funny because I didn't know this was a summer blockbuster, so I learned something, was Grease. I did not know that Grease was a summer blockbuster, and it made me so happy because I don't know, it was like, I wrote it down, but I don't have it. It didn't cost hardly anything to make, and it made like almost $700 million.
Yeah, it's one of the highest grossing musicals ever.
I know, and it continues to make money. And so, yes, Grease. And then number 1, I think we could all pick my number 1 is Back to the Future. Back to the Future is my favorite trilogy. It means so much to me. Like how Alien means to Adam, Back to the Future is for me. It's got nostalgia for me. I went to see these movies with my dad, because it's his birthday, so we'll bring this up. Every time one of them went out, we would go and have pizza afterwards, and we would talk about it, and it means a lot to me. So.
Okay. Well, Adam, why don't you go last, and I'll go next, okay? Because I know you're probably going to bring it with some really good stuff. So my 3 really quick. I got to go. Number 3 for me is the original Jaws, just because of the impact in terms of what it's had. Number 2 is a movie that I personally saw in the theater 7 times. That's Independence Day, coming out July 3rd of 1996. And then, what?
Right up there with the Men in Black.
Just like Men in Black. You really want Will Smith to be coming out in 2000s instead.
Pretty much. I want him to be relevant, just saying. And finally, my number 1 is T2, Terminator 2. Just because in terms of sequels, it's possibly the greatest sequel ever made.
It's one of the best sequels.
Yeah. It was so good that they wanted to basically redo the sequel. But that's neither here nor there.
Did you see Dark Fate? Dark Fate?
Yeah, I did.
It was fantastic.
Did you like it? Because
if T2 never was made, absolutely.
No, I mean it takes place after T2, so.
Yeah, I know. I just don't. We could talk about this. We could basically take the show over. Why don't we talk about that another time? Honestly, we can have a Terminator edition where we could talk about it because it has such a strong impact.
Ooh, I can already think of intros to do for that.
There you go. Well, why don't you think about your list and tell us what you got?
All right, my list was really hard to do because I love summer blockbusters, but my list is not what you guys would think it would be. My number 3, because I went based on movies that I watched a lot and movies that I love. My number 3 was Twister. The storm chasing movie. I saw that I don't know how many times in the theater, and it's just a great theater movie. It's a great movie for sound and screen and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It just embodies summer to me. Same with my number 2, which actually turned me on to the idea of writing because the script was unbelievable, and that's Jurassic Park. I saw it the midnight release with my stepbrother, and then again at 10 a.m. the next morning with my mom, and then I went and saw it basically every other day in the theater after that. It was a real big impact on me when I was 12 years old, and I'm still consider it one of my favorite movies of all time. And my number 1, I jumped around a lot, but I went with my favorite movie of the 2010s, and that's Mad Max Fury Road, because I consider it one of the best pieces of art I've basically ever seen. It could be the color version or the black and white version, and it's still one of the most amazing movies I've seen in over a decade.
Okay. All right. Well, Those are some interesting choices. For those of you who have different choices, please comment below, or if you're listening to this via the podcast, please feel free to interact with us and let us know what your choices are. How can they interact with us? Allison?
They can tweet at us at CinemadnessP. They can, can't really Instagram us. Can't really talk on Instagram, but we're on Instagram, Cinemadness Podcast. I don't know what Adam's doing with his phone. Made it look like you could text us, but you can't.
I was tweeting.
Oh, you can you can read our stuff on our website and comment. Maybe we'll put the list up. I don't know. And then you can talk to us on Facebook, which is what majority of people do at Cinemadness Podcast.
What is our website again?
Cinemadnesspodcast.com.
Yep. And if you didn't hear any of that, all of the links to our social media is on cinemadnesspodcast.com. Also with all of our shows, reviews, and some extra stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, one and all, for stopping by, hanging out with us. As we said time and time again, listening land, all we are is three friends hanging out at a bar, talking movies. So thank you very much for pulling a seat up next to us and hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys coming over. Please drive home safe. Allison, why don't you send us away?
That was funny. All right. Good night.